Well, hello there all you beautiful people. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to fix a problem that most of us deal with on a daily basis when riding an electric skateboard, and that is flat tires. So these are obviously not flat. They look really good, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what I do to make sure I try to avoid as many flats as possible, and that is install tire liner. You want to go ahead and install this into your tires. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description. This is the yellow version. You get the green version. They're both the same. On the outside it has ridges, and on the inside it's smooth. So when you're laying it around the tire, you want to make sure the ridges on the top are on the outside and the smooth portion of the tape is on the bottom. And you can go ahead and cut this. It's really strong. It works wonders. It's helped me avoid staples and nails and all that type of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and install it on my Ace Deck Aries X1. As you can see over here, I have them installed already on my brand new Ace Deck NYX Z3. That was one of the first things I did so I didn't get punctured tires. Now these tires are thin, so if you have other tires, go ahead. They work in all size tires and stuff. These are meant for bikes, but you can go ahead and cut them for skateboard tires. It's perfect for that. Also, another step I'm going to take is show you how I'm going to put the tube inside of another tube to give it an extra layer of protection for the tube itself. So we're going to install the tire liner, put the inner tube inside of another inner tube, which I've cut already, as you can see. You cut the little nipple off, then you cut a little bit out, gives it some space. You put the tube inside this tube, and then you put this around that. We're going to go ahead and, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys. First step first is obviously taking the tire off. Now this is a belt drive. My new one is a gear drive. So those tires came off a lot faster and installed a lot faster than these will. So we're gonna go ahead and get this tire off. Obviously it's inflated still, so we're going to have to deflate it. Go ahead and pull it off here. Make sure you don't lose a little O-ring inside there. You want to go ahead and put it to the side. Now the next thing we're going to do is deflate the tire so that we can go ahead and disassemble it. Go ahead and unscrew this little black top right here. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take one of my little wrenches right here and deflate it a bit. Oh yeah, feel that air. Yeah, deflate it till it can't deflate anymore with that. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. And on the inside of this tire, there's 5 screws that I gotta take out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so all 5 of the bolts are out. I should just be able to pull this top gear section off. There you go, it pulls right off. Little center section, the front section will come off. I try to make sure that I keep the tire in the same direction that I took it off on, so that when I put it back on, I don't have to try to figure out which side it is. Go ahead and pull this piece off real quick. That's for the inner rim. And there should be a little piece. Don't lose this little ring on the inside too either. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the tube out. All right, now as you can see, I took the tire out and I already have a liner inside of the tube already, because I'm smart and I've already done this for myself. But I had to make sure, I wanted to make sure I go ahead and tore it apart anyway, so I could put the tire liner in and show you guys how to do that. Now here's the tire and stuff. Here's the tire liner. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it around the outside of the tire, and then cut about maybe like a half inch, maybe an inch and a half short of what it is. You can go ahead and measure it if you want, but I'm just gonna go ahead and measure it my way. This is my way. Wrap it around the tire. Actually, it looks like I probably have already enough, because I've already done this to several tires. So I should have just enough. It looks like I'm maybe like 2 inches short. So we'll see how it looks inside of there. Make sure the ridges are on the outside. And go ahead and just start feeding it through. There's no stickiness to it. You just gotta feed it through. And then when you inflate the tire, everything will slide into place. But you want to make sure you do your part to make sure that everything is going into place anyway. Go ahead and stick it in there, make sure the ridges are on the outside. You want to go ahead and cut yourself enough so that you maybe go over a little bit, overlap on the inside, so that you have maybe an extra section that's a little bit more protected. The end piece will be a little bit hard as you get towards the end, which I'm at right now. It's wanting to curl back up, but it looks like everything is secured in there. It's hard to get that last section down. I'm trying to put it under the front portion of it. It's hard. All right, we got it all down in there. You want to make sure the liner is towards the front, back portion, you know, whatever you would call that. And now again, you want to make sure that the tire is facing the right way. So my spikes are going forward. All right, now that my tire liner is inside, I'm gonna go ahead and take my tube, make sure I stick it back inside, make sure the tire is facing the right way so that when you put it on, you put the rim back on, it's facing the right way. I have extra padding now. I have a tire liner and I have a liner inside of a liner. And that should give me enough padding so that even if I do happen to get a flat, I should be able to ride it out. Go ahead and trying to get the tube back in, make sure everything is lined up right. You generally want to try not to have any pinching. You want to make sure you try to do most of the work yourself. Make sure everything is lined up on the inside yourself. It will, as you inflate it with the tube inflator, the air pump, it should line back up into place. But you just want to make sure you're extra cautious and you do it all yourself too. So now we're going to go ahead and feed the front portion of it back in because it lines back up. As you can see, there's a little nook thing that the nipple goes in. So you got to go ahead and put this end in and feed it through. And you really, it's going to be hard. It might be a little difficult, this section of it, because you got to make sure that the tube isn't going to get pinched in between the two sides of the rim while also keeping the shape of the tube inside. So I'm not sure if you can see how well I'm doing it, but you want to make sure there's no tube that's going to get pinched when you put the back side back on. Never forget about this portion, either the little piece that goes on the inside. Go ahead and, this has a little nook. You want to go ahead and line that up too with the nipple. Stick it back on there, and then you're going to look for any, you're going to try to line it up, and then you're going to try to make sure that there's no pinches from the tube that you just installed. Because if there is, when you go to ride or you go to fill it up, it will pop immediately. Line it up, make sure everything's lined up right. And then we'll start screwing in the screws. That's pretty much all you do. All right, so now that I have the tube on the inside exactly how I want it, I am screwing the 5 screws on the inside back on. As I said, this is a belt drive, so I have to go ahead and put it back on with the belt right here, which I'll go ahead and pop this cap off of, then put this back on, and it'll be all right. But you guys got to see how to install the tire liner right there. And if you like the video, make sure to smash like. I'll do some more videos like this, and I'll just keep making skate videos until I go viral at some point. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fill the tire up, because if there's any pinching, we'll know almost right away. You will hear a big explosion, or more like a pop or a sizzle or something. But we're gonna go ahead and fill the tire up, make sure everything is working properly, make sure it feels right. You won't be able to really tell, but hopefully you did a good enough job with the tire liner that it stays on the inside and it starts to push towards the outside. That's the general gist of it anyway. You can also cut it down so that you can make it fit better in your tires, but I'm not gonna do all that. All right, so I filled it up to 52 PSI. This tire will hold 60 PSI, but I filled it up to 52 because I put tire liner in there and because I have another tire liner in there already. So I had to kind of do a little lower. You don't have to make them all the way tight, but you want to make sure the tires are filled up as much as possible, especially if you're going fast. If you're in the dirt and the gravel, you do a little bit less, but I made sure that they're filled up to 52 PSI. That's my magic number. I love you guys so very much. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love.